Well, hi everybody. My name is George Arrington, and I'm going to show you one of my favorite pieces of software called JWP. It is the Japanese word processor for a lot of the things that I've done. My website, donzon.com, and also my series of books that I've written on martial arts. I've used JWP for doing a lot of the Japanese language in those books, and it's a really great piece of software, and best of all, it's a freeware, so you can download it from the internet, and it's free to distribute, and you can even modify it if you're smart enough to change software and program it. But anyway, the best way to do it, I'm not going to tell you how to install it on your system, but the best way to do that is to go to the internet and do a search for JWP, or more specifically JWPce, right there, CE, and get it. And you'll have a great time, especially if you're interested in Japanese, if you're learning Japanese, or just want to play around with some kanji. This is a great piece of software. Anyway, this first video, I'm just going to show you the screen and how it's set up, and then in succeeding videos, we'll show you how to use it and hopefully have some fun with it. Anyway, let's take a quick look at it. Okay, you have your standard window here that you have for most word processors. Notice this is untitled because I haven't saved it yet. You have a menu bar, and you have a toolbar, and then you've got a big workspace right here, and then you've got some stuff down here in the corner that we'll look at. Okay. So let's look at the menu bar. So under menu, you have some things that are pretty standard with word processors. You have a file, which allows you to do a new or open or close, save, print, exit, all kinds of things, recent files. Okay, so that's pretty standard. Edit gives you your cut and paste functions, your undo, redo, search and replace, those kinds of stuff. There's also a thing here called mode, and we're going to look at this in a minute here, but when you go onto mode, there's a flyout menu that says kanji, ASCII, and JASCII, which we'll look at in a few minutes here, or in a minute or so. Anyway, and then also pretty standard, you have a window menu, which allows you to, if you have multiple windows open, or multiple windows with using JWP. Excuse me, got a little frog in my throat. You can switch back and forth from windows there. So windows and a help menu. And then there are things that are specific to JWP, like the kanji menu. This allows us to go in and do things that are specific for Japanese language, convert from one form to the kanji, that form I'm going to talk about here in a minute, and get info about a particular kanji, okay, and then radical lookup. These three functions I use all the time, very, very useful, and then there are other ways to look up kanji and some other things there. And then under utilities, you can format the file or paragraph or page layout, but the one that I use all the time is the dictionary, and this allows me to take a kanji and find its context within the Japanese language, how it's used. So that's a very, very useful tool. Okay, so let's go on down to the toolbar, and some of these are pretty standard. The new, the open, and the save you find in most applications. Print, cut and copy and paste, you find that quite a bit. And those, if you notice, it also has the shortcut key, so Control X, Control C, Control V, those are pretty much the same. Control P for print. Alt. Okay, so there's a difference. Alt P for print. Alt S for save. Alt O for open and Alt-N for new. And then undo and redo, that's Control-Z and Control-Y, like most things. Control-F for find and replace and next. And then now we start to get into some of the tools that are unique to JWP. These three keys here, the kanji mode, ASCII mode, and JASCII mode. Kanji mode allows us to type in the phonetic symbols hiragana or katakana in Japanese. We'll look at those in the next video. You can type in ASCII mode, which is actually English. You can type in Western symbols. JASCII mode, we'll look at that in a succeeding video, what that's all about. Here's a button which corresponds to our menu item that we saw earlier up here under kanji, kanji convert, which is F2. So if we press this button, it'll be the same thing as if we hit F2. And then once we have a kanji, if we want to find out what it's all about, then we can hit this and we can get the information about that kanji, the pronunciation and the meaning and stuff like that. JIS table, we'll look at that in another video. Here's our dictionary button, which is extremely useful. Finding out the context of the kanji within Japanese language. We can count the kanji. I don't use that too often, but that's available. And then here's our radical lookup button, which allows us to build a kanji. If we have a kanji on a piece of paper and we don't know what it is, this will help us to build it using parts of the kanji, or the radicals, in order to form the kanji and hopefully find out what the kanji is. And so we have the radical lookup, and then there are other ways of looking up a kanji, the bushu lookup, the stroke lookup. Some people use the four-corner lookup method, and so forth. And then we have formatting things here, options. Okay, and so here's the workspace where we actually will do the typing, and some informational stuff will happen in this corner and also in this corner. But that's enough for this video, and we'll see you in the next one, and have fun.